From coast to coast, east of the Rockies to the Pacific Ocean, it is your host, the tie-dye dude, El Jefe, the man in charge. That's me. Thank you guys for tuning back in. I'm so excited to bring you this amazing video. We took some time putting this together. I'm very excited to help you guys take your gameplay and your gunplay from a beginner standpoint to the next level, a pro level. I went around and talked to the top 50 players in North America, and I asked them, guys, what would you give as tips and tricks to new players? Their responses were incredible. We're going to dive right into it right now. Parachuting 101. This is a interesting aspect. There's a lot to it. You got to know where you're going, for one, so let's figure that out. On this jump, we have a lot of different locations. We're going to go to Pachinki. Now, when you parachute, realize you have about 1 kilometer to go anywhere floating before it becomes ineffective. So right here is a good example of going to Pachinki. Jump right here. Now, as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, you have a speedometer for how fast you're going. You want to hit maximum velocity of 234 kilometers an hour before your chute deploys. You'll see at the bottom left there's a white bar. You want to make sure you're going about 234 miles an hour by pulling back on your mouse and holding W before that chute deploys. Make sure you don't touch your mouse as the chute deploys, else it'll mess up the velocity of the parachute deploying. Now, as you can tell, we're going about 60 kilometers an hour, which is what we want. Now, you can hold W or let go of W and press W again, and that allows your character to rock back and forth to get to a further position than what you normally would. Next thing I want to dive right into is vehicle looting. Vehicle looting is used by a lot of the top 100 players in North America and across the world. It's a little concept where when they first parachute in, they find a vehicle within the path of the plane and take off to a village far away to easily loot untouched and unbothered. It's a very good concept and used by a lot of different players. Now, in order to properly do this, you are going to have to learn all the car spawn locations. Now, I do know there are a couple of spawn locations over this direction toward the hospital. And there are some cars that constantly spawn in the same location, but there are some cars that have an RNG aspect. Some do spawn in the garages and furthermore. So in this particular situation, I would be looking for a vehicle instead of looting and taking a vehicle and going from my location, Agatka, and maybe going up to George Pool or even up to the shooting range, somewhere that's a little bit farther away than the direct plane's path. And what I would do then is loot as much as I can and take my vehicle and head on back to the center of the circle. Once I can get some level 2 or above armor, and 60 to 90 rounds of ammo should be just enough. You don't want to spend too much time doing this, and you are going to lose a lot of time doing this. So unfortunately, we weren't able to get to the location we needed to, but that is how you would properly do a vehicle looting. Now, I want to talk to you guys about patience, a little thing called patience. When playing this game, you have to have patience. I know there's a guy over here to my right in this building, but we don't necessarily need to engage. We don't have a lot of ammo, and we only have a level 2 helmet. So there's no point for us to engage that person, especially with multiple targets in the city, until we know we're fully geared or we have a good jump on her. So right now, I'm just going to avoid him. And by using this patience, and using the thought process of not engaging every time you hear or see somebody, it'll allow you to get further and allow you to loot better. Now, certain situations you will have to engage, but in this particular situation, as you can hear the gunshots going off, we avoided a conflict and we allowed to stay alive a little bit longer, and we didn't have to waste any medkits if we did have any. Let's talk about a little thing called situational awareness. I'm sure you have heard of it. Maybe your friends have said it. Maybe you've heard of it in other games. This is a big concept to understand and to really fully grasp, but you will over time, and it will become a second nature deal for you. The biggest thing about situational awareness I see is tunnel vision. A lot of folks see a guy and they stop everything else around them. Everything becomes a frozen world, and they see only that guy in front of them. Let's use this rock as an example. When somebody's in a firefight or see a guy, they like to rotate their camera and focus on that person. This is called tunnel vision. You're not seeing anything else around you or recognizing anything else around you, and that will get you killed over time. You need to use that left alt button and look around and make sure you know what's going on. You know there's a guy there, and unless he's shooting at you, he should not be your primary concern. If you're in a duo or squads, his friends flanking you should be your primary concern. Or if you're playing solo and you have a lot of gunshots going off around you, the other guys that may be waiting behind that rock with a sniper rifle should be your other concern. So make sure you guys don't get tunnel vision and be aware of the things going on around you. You also need to learn about cover. Cover is a big one, and it's very difficult to grasp at first. A lot of people, they see somebody and they just want to start shooting. You have to use that little thing that we talked about called patience. Sometimes you need to wait. Sometimes you need to find cover yourself before firing. You should never, ever be in an open field without being within 30 meters of cover and firing upon somebody. Now, in this situation, I would feel comfortable firing at somebody in that field over in that direction. The reason being, I can break to my right to that tree, or I can break to my left at this rock. That person, however, would have to keep running or return fire. His best move in that situation would be return fire, since he does have no cover. Now, that's a good example. He's riding right along there, right in my path. Now, in this situation, if I had a firearm, I would fire upon him, and he wouldn't be able to do a lot. Now, if you're in that situation in an open field and you get fired upon, you have two options. You can either run and hope he doesn't hit you and hope he has bad aim. But if you want to step your game to the next level, pro level, odds are good they're not going to be missing a whole lot. So in that situation, if you don't have cover nearby, you need to start returning fire. You need to fire back upon them and hope that you don't get hit. That is your best chance in that situation. Hey guys, the last thing I wanted to talk to you about is fast looting. A lot of people have trouble with this concept and think that they need to spend the entire match looting. This is not the case at all, actually. Don't be that loot goblin. Don't spend the entire match looking for loot and trying to steal as much as you can and loot up. The whole point of the game is to get to top 10 and first place and to win the match. In order to do that, you need a couple of things. You want to loot as fast as you can until you get level 2 armor. You don't need 100 plus bullets. You only need 60 to 90 rounds in order to be successful here. And you want to get to the center of the circle before everyone else sets up. You can always kill people and loot them after they get to the center. But to be a prime top player, you need to get to the center of the circle, set up, and constantly be in the center before anyone else. That gives you a huge defensive advantage, and it allows you to be more successful more times than not, and that'll allow you to get to that first position that you're looking for. When I say level 2 armor and above, the reason for that is if you look at the statistics, a level 1 helmet is easier to break, obviously, with the Kar 98 one tap. Now, level 2 and level 3 can sometimes deflect those shots. So you need to get that level 2, you need to get at least 1 assault rifle, and you need 90 rounds-ish. You don't need to be stacked up. You should be practicing on hitting those headshots. You shouldn't have to spray a couple of magazines at somebody. That's the gist of fast looting. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I had so much fun showing you guys some new tips and tricks that hopefully will take you guys to the next level, to the competitive pro level you're all searching for. Or maybe you just learned a few things that you wanted to use to hang out with your friends and just have a good time with. Either way, I sincerely appreciate it. Now, I'm not on YouTube very much. I do a video here and there, but if you want to help support me, check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/TieDyeDude. Go follow me there. Let's have a good time. Now, I expect you guys to go out and do something nice today for somebody else, whether it be your mother, sister, brother, father, whoever it is, cousin, friend, whoever. Go do something positive. Make a change in this world. Do something good. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next one.